This is a review of the Hueeyes colored pencils. They are an oil-based colored pencil, 48 pieces, and the set has many of them. Comes into a tin. This tin is not hinged, and when you open up the tin, they actually include a very nice color wheel, and it actually feels like it's a pretty sturdy color wheel. It's nicely wrapped so that it doesn't get damaged in transit. If you don't have a color wheel, it's a great addition to your art supplies, and this set gives you one. Inside, we have the standard, pretty much flimsy plastic trays, it looks like. And they have elastic to lift them up. Oh, hey, look at this. Looks like they actually include a little coloring book too. Enchanted Forest, an Inky Quest and Coloring Book by Joanna Basford. Now let's take a quick look in here. Looks like images are on both sides of the page. These are actually fairly fine images, many of them. So much smaller bits and pieces on these. So I would say they're actually definitely much more of an adult level coloring. Not really something, as you can see by the intricacy on these, not something that would be good for younger children. Alright, so that was nice. And then we have the second tray, and no other hidden surprises in the bottom. Now looking at these all have the hexagonal barrel on them. And it looks like it has color pencil, Hueeyes. Now, I've seen some reviewers get very upset saying, oh, this is water-based, they're water-based pencils. It says water-based paint. And if you read the description carefully, what they mean is that the paint that is used on the barrels of the pencils is a water-based paint so that it's non-toxic. A lot of pencils use like a epoxy-based or an enamel-based paint on their pencils, which, while not horribly toxic, isn't exactly the best thing for kids to chew on if they chew their pencils. So I think that was the whole point of them saying the water-based paint, is so that you understand it is a non-toxic water-based paint. Now, each pencil does also have the color number on it. And I noticed one of the pencils in here, yes, when we first opened it, for some reason you can see that this one has color pencil in a metallic gold printed on it, as well as the color number and the water-based paint, whereas all of the other pencils in the set have white on them. Now, personally, I would prefer the white because it's a lot easier to read than the gold. It's very shiny, because if you just look at the comparison here, you can see how much easier it is to read a number that is in white than it is to read that number in gold. So that's not something that I'm going to complain about, that there's one pencil with a different color stamped on it. I will say that that probably is because they maybe are changing their line a little bit. So I would expect that maybe this white pencil is either from a newer run that they're going to be stamping them all in gold, or it's from an older version. But neither here nor there. Let's see how these actually perform. I've actually taken one of the pictures out of the coloring book included, and this is the one that we're going to test these pencils out on. So I did some quick coloring on that coloring book page. As expected, coloring book paper is not that great. This one had a little bit more tooth than some of them. Obviously, this isn't finished. It's just part of when you work with colored pencil. You have to be patient, and it takes a lot of time to get your depth of color. I'm pretty much near the end of what this paper will take at this point. So I'm really not sure how much more I can get done on this, but as you can see, the pencils did perform pretty well. I actually like the feel of the pencils. Mind you, I do like oil-colored pencils, oil-based colored pencils, more than wax-based for the most part. So that is definitely my opinion. The pencils hold a sharp point very well. I didn't have any problems sharpening any of the pencils. As I was working with them, there was no breakage. Some people might say that they have a little bit of a scratchy feel, but that's simply because the lead is a firmer lead than on a wax-based pencil. They still lay down, in my opinion, smoothly, and as you can see, you can get a lot of layers on them. Now, I also tried a very quick sketch on quality sketching paper, and they perform very well on this. You can get many, many layers, and you can start very lightly, and I think I have probably in some places 10 layers of pencil on here. Again, this was just a very quick test just to see what they're capable of doing. But all pencils, no matter what their price point, perform better on a quality sketching paper. Let me bring this up so you can see a little better on that. And once more, let me bring over this one and bring it up so that you can see how the colors layer. Now on those brown mushrooms, I actually burnished those to try to get a shiny look on them. I was starting to do the completion of the drawing from up here and down, but like I said, I'm not sure how much more this piece of paper will take because it's not that high of a quality, but still the colors layered well. So for these Hueeyes colored pencils, oil-based, 48 pieces, I would recommend them. Obviously, we don't know what the light fast ratings are, but for just enjoyable sketching and coloring books, these seem like they will work very well for both of those things.